first link is a thread about us on a website message board that is completely dedicated to doxing and harassing people on the internet. Kiwi Farms gained notoriety during the Christchurch massacre in New Zealand. The thread was originally started by a community of fans of a show called Pod Awful, hosted by Jesse Powell Shroud, and an English YouTuber by the name of Porcelain. In the thread, I even provided my own post showing the screenshots of them planning the thread on the website. These people are the ones behind our own doxing and publishing of our address. We have had attempts at swatting at our home as well, which you can confirm with Detective Kennedy of the Polk County Sheriff's Office here in Florida. You can contact them at... The pod-awful people are truly criminal sociopaths, and rumour has it they actually had a female in their fanbase trick a mentally challenged guy into sending her provocative pictures of himself that they released publicly. They are really messed up people. This second link is to a subreddit dedicated to similar things. Doxing and general harassment to myself, as well as my family and girlfriend, all innocent people whose only sin is being involved with me. If I were a bettering man, I would put money that whoever is trying to pin Owen's incident on me is one of the frequent posters on this subreddit. I'm not very famous or well known, and there is a very short list of people who are this obsessed with me. Some of the more well-known names in that community are Alan Powell, no relation to Jesse P.S., David Walsh, Thomas Daly, and Ian Ellis. Most of these people are failed YouTubers who see us as their enemy and are trying to make a name for themselves by destroying our lives. However, their obsession has deepened to a point where it's begun to manifest itself into criminal activity like doxing, swatting, and this most recent incident where they have apparently tried to doctor evidence of wrongdoing on my part. Here is a link to Alan Powell's Twitter account. I have also attached a screenshot of him stating explicitly that my sister and ex-girlfriends should be raped to teach me a lesson. I have also provided a screenshot of him confirming that it was him. You can see at first glance that this man's entire internet existence is dedicated to me. It's extremely disturbing. I believe Alan lives in California, but I got that information third hand, so its reliability may not be 100%.
So it appears Mike Sheely, better known as Mersh from the giant-killing internet terror cell Revenge of the Cis, nice reference Reddit, has continued to descend into yet another whirlpool of fat-titted cowdom. Following the circulation of an email exchange with Kitsap County's Detective Tiffany Dobbins, after the receipt of a FOIA request originating from GSK circles, the Floridian cringe artist has finally achieved the sort of notoriety befitting his relentless thirst for e-celebrity.
But yeah, I immediately gave the cop a link to the Reddit. I gave the cop a link to the Kiwi Farms thread. I gave a cop a list of like 3 or 4 names of people that I knew were actively trying to do gay ops. And I said, if I had to bet, I'll put in a list of who I think it is, starting with the one I think it is the most. Bomb, bomb, bang, bong. Oh, by the way, I think that fucking Josh got mad because I included Kiwi Farms. Sorry, buddy, it's your website that has the thread about me on it. Like, I'm not going to withhold that evidence from a cop because I want to protect Kiwi Farms. Like, I'm not a Kiwi, dude.
You're not even protecting Kiwi Farms. You're not even putting Kiwi Farms in danger. You're a little fucking pussy, dude. That's what this is. You've been exposed to be a massive fucking fraud. A lot of these guys, man, they talk shit. They talk a lot of shit. They try to act tough.
The contents of the email exchange with Washington's finest exposed Mersh as a complete and utter snitch, a far cry from his days as a drug-dealing tough guy from the mean streets of New York City. In the email, Mersh would directly accuse the likes of Jesse Powell Stroud, Alan Powell, Ian Ellis, Thomas Daly and David Walsh, along with yours truly, of committing a litany of abusive cybercrimes without a shred of logical reasoning or evidence. These alleged crimes would include doxing, swatting, harassment and even the doctoring of evidence, with this follically challenged informant at this point desperate to pin something tangible on the lapels of his growing list of detractors. The difficulty for Mersh is that for all his wiggerish hustle and oblivious self-assurance, he is what we Brits like to call barking up the wrong tree.
Florida police. Maybe he's from Florida, but this looks like a Washington County police department. This is April 4th, 2020, by the way. So this is last year. Apparently, someone sent a Freedom of Information Act, which is probably one of the best laws that the U.S. federal government has passed in the last 50 fucking years. but it got FOIA'd. Basically, all correspondence with police from Mersh, I guess, because Mersh has been saying that he's been talking to police about his trolls or some shit. So there's this document, which is proof that he's been doing this.
As long as I can prove that there's a group of fucking degenerate, unemployed, low IQ sociopaths obsessed with destroying my life, pretty much any negative thing that happens to me, I could blame it on that. Probably get away with it too.
With the emails having been exchanged in April 2020, it's clear nothing substantial ever came of them. But the fact this pot-bellied junkie would go to the lengths of providing specific names to law enforcement, along with a list of knowingly false accusations simply because he doesn't like them, is incredibly telling indeed. He is currently on a 3-day crisis management tour, leading his dutiful pay piggies around a hedge maze of nonsensical distraction in the process. In efforts of confusing the narrative, Mersh would spend large chunks of his late-night OBS show Nightwave, a 2-hour cope session of slurred insults towards his own chat at the lightest of provocation, frantically inventing a series of alternate realities in which his tattle-telling shenanigans were somehow justified.
The group of people that take this shit with me to this level is such a short list of people that when certain things start happening, and they're happening to me, and they fit the pattern of your behavior, I should probably make it perfectly clear. I will absolutely throw you under the bus for law enforcement. I'm telling you that right now. I will 110%. I will never not throw you under the bus with law enforcement if it's you or me.
And also, he tried to arrest the internet for making fun of him. But he is not a lol cow. I need to repeat. This is very important to know about Mersh. Mersh, by his own admission, which I didn't even know you could do that. Mersh is not a lol cow. He swore hand on Bible, one finger just slightly off of the Bible, but the rest of the hand was kind of touching the withered hand on Bible. He said, I am not a lol cow. And so it's true.
His initial response to the accusations was to treat his terror spurgs to some sort of improvisational SNL audition, apparently miming the exaggerated taps of a typewriter whilst yelling at his audience in a Russian accent was enough of a key jangle to satiate his Pavlovian super chatters.
I gotta bonk you, man. I don't know what you're doing. You send a letter. By the way, stop speaking like you're fucking from a third world shithole. You send a letter to police about Jesse. What? Yes, I'm writing letters. I'm popping on my fucking typewriter. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. I'm firing off letters to fucking G. Gordon Liddy to try to get things taken care of. What are you talking about? You know, you've been doing that thing. You've been doing that gay thing where you keep trying to be cute, but you keep mentioning. See, you guys are kind of broken people. You always do the same shit over and over again. And then you think I don't notice it, but it's like, I notice what you're doing. You fucking... Hello, you write letter to police about the Jesse? Yeah, ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
But with more corners of the internet catching on to the waddling antics of a 40-year-old panhandler, Mersh figured he'd repeat the same strategy that months before saw him foolishly dox himself live on air, and attempt to get ahead of the encircling drama. With his exposed anal crack planted firmly against the wall, he'd finally admit to the validity of the emails, whilst retardedly maintaining his reasoning for writing them. It appears, at least if you are somebody dumb enough to take a pathological liar like Mersh at his pear-shaped word, that he was at some point reported to the police and even allegedly swatted with next to no real idea of who did so or why. He also claims to have been falsely accused of reporting Owen Benjamin to CPS, again with little more than a rough idea as to who the perceived culprit was. In his Adderall-infested brain, this would surely affirm his self-portrayal as the internet's eternal victim, and whatever sporadic action he subsequently took regardless of actual culpability was clearly in self-defense. But even so, to retaliate in this bootlicking fashion with absolutely no evidence or logical foundations against people quite clearly not involved, and for no reason other than deep-seated personal animus, is precisely why making fun of this thin-skinned narc is such a delight.
show us the emails. The emails are in the Freedom of Information Act request. I wrote those words. I'm not denying that. I wrote the words that are in the Freedom of Information. I threw all of those cocksuckers under the bus. I'm not denying that. But me showing you my emails still isn't going to be able to prove that I wasn't the initial opening of it. Like, that's all in the Freedom of Information Act request, you dumb fuck. Porcelain got mentioned one time on my show for 2 seconds where I was like, and by the way, Porcelain, don't think I don't know that you're fucking hanging around the little hate Mersh circles, being a little disingenuous faggot, and that I don't see it. And then he made a 20-minute video about me because I broke him. And now he's another one that's been obsessed with getting me back, just like Jesse, all these other guys. Obsessed, consumed by it. It was, no, you know what? 20-minute video of, oh, man, she's a fucking paranoid. Blah, 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 blah.
Now, as much fun as it might be slapping this bulbous edgelord's gunt around the internet a little more, I'm a little wary of being baited by clear misinformation. Doing so would only help Mersh to distract from the clear and undeniable fact that, having had his fees hurt, he picked up the phone and called the cops on the internet. Addressing his warped mistelling of unrelated events from yesteryear would only serve to deflect from the reality of his current situation. And to be quite frank, the personal favours I've granted this goggle-eyed mole soon expired after his endless begging for self-promoting ROTC clips to be featured in my documentaries. And besides, there will be plenty of opportunity to better address the intoxicated rantings of a heavyset grifter further down the line. God knows I've been planning for it.